When I hadn't had it for that long and I was still like adjusting to it and stuff, I found that it really did affect my racing. I remember one competition, I was like leaning over a table, like crying because I was in so much pain.
I think I was 12 years old and I was pretty shocked, especially with the intensity of swimming at the time. I was scared how I was gonna deal with sport and my period.
I've just been scared that I've been leaking through my shorts or stuff like that. I'll be too tired to train as hard. My stomach would hurt, so it'll be difficult to go in as hard and run as much. When I get my periods, I get a lot of pain, and I also train 6 days a week. It's physical and mental, cramps and pain, but then also getting in your head because you could be a bit out of it.
Australia is often called a sporting nation.
AFLW Premiers. Ash Barty is the Australian Open champion.
But what happens when a pretty big portion of our population considers dropping out of sport for reasons they can't really control?
Yeah, I did consider stopping sport because of my period. So when I was transitioning from my old club, I was really conscious because I didn't even know anyone here. I had no friends. I was scared someone was gonna see if I didn't have the right protection. Someone would have been an incident or something and everyone would have judged me and I wouldn't have wanted to go back.
So it's a very awkward thing to talk about with people. Some people have more cramps and stuff, so I see why it's hard for them and they might drop out.
Research shows that at age 9, 83% of Australian girls are playing organised sport. But by 15 years of age, that drops to just 23%. And while there isn't just one thing causing this decline, researchers say periods which, on average, first happen at about 12 years of age could be a contributing factor.
Doesn't really surprise me, no.
Why doesn't that surprise you?
Well, because playing with periods suck. Yeah.
I remember when I was 16 at Estates, I was looking at the girls who are in the 17 to 18-year-old final, and the most common event is the 50 freestyle, and there's only 3 girls across two ages doing it. And I was like, there's no way, why are these girls dropping out? And then I was thinking about it, I was like period, bodily changes and stuff, and I was like, I don't want that to be me. I want to keep going with the sport that I like to do.
Young girls that are starting to menstruate are learning it on their own. And in what other part of sport do we leave girls to learn things on their own? You think how much time and effort coaches put into learning or teaching how to do your warm-up properly and how you learn a new skill, and you start with the basics. In terms of something like menstruation, it's, well, you've got your period, off you go, just keep doing all the other things.
Jane Strachan is a pelvic health physiotherapist, lecturer and researcher at Federation University. Jane recently surveyed more than 450 girls between the ages of 10 and 16 to find out if managing their periods impacts their sport, and how everything from facilities to first aid kits play a role in this.
You can hold as much menstrual health knowledge as you like, but if the uniform policy is that you are wearing white shorts and you are a heavy, heavy bleeder and you need to be on that field for a 40-minute half before you can change anything, then there's not much you can do about that. That's an organisational change.
Sometimes I fill in for the reserves here and they have white shorts, but I haven't got my period on it yet.
I used to have a white suit. Yeah, and I remember one time I didn't have anything to change and I actually forgot. And so when I got into my race, I bled through and it was on my suit. And it was really awkward because the person behind me, timekeeping me, was a male. So I think I just got extra stressed out. I was 14.
More than 60% of participants said they were unable to change their period protection when needed at training. And this number went up to 75% during competitions.
A lot of girls, when they get into their suits, we help each other.
Yeah.
Because it takes so long and it's so much effort. But most of the time it takes us 20 minutes together to work together to put them on because it's just so hard.
If you rock up late to one of your races or you don't have enough time, you're like, how am I going to change it? You can't just take off your whole suit, do it, because you just don't have enough time to do that.
Around 1 in 4 participants reported a lack of access to sufficient or hygienic facilities such as bathrooms and change rooms.
It's harder at away games because we obviously know here where all our products are and stuff, but away games, like sometimes we don't even have a change room, so we don't have access to like a bathroom.
Sufficient bathrooms doesn't just mean access to a toilet. It also means having running water and soap and knowing where to find period products.
So our training's based at an all-boys school, so there's no dispenser there for us to get anything from.
Along with issues around access, 90% of girls experienced symptoms that disrupted their participation and performance, such as fatigue, mood changes and pain, while a similar number worried about leaking through their uniforms.
If you do have it, it's really noticeable, especially if it's a bad one.
And have you ever experienced leaking or bleeding through at trainings or at games?
Not enough for it to be visible, but enough for me to like feel that I have, yeah.
And how did that make you feel?
Embarrassed even though no one saw, but I just went to the bathroom and went back out.
And 63% reported actually missing training due to period-related challenges. And 1 in 3 sat out of competition events.
Yeah, because normally my periods are bad, so I do miss training, yeah.
This leads us to the key finding of this study. 1 in 5 girls were so worried about their periods, they considered dropping out of sport.
If we've got disruption that's happening once a month, over and over, when you think about learning a sport, developing skills, developing the strength or the attributes needed to stay in a sport, maintaining your fitness, if girls are missing component of that regularly, then there's a flow-on effect about, how they're managing and whether they can progress as, other participants who aren't managing a disruptive menstrual cycle might.
Jane says this study points to the need to improve menstrual health literacy across the board, and not just for people who menstruate.
We see this gender imbalance in coaching, and the question we asked was, would you turn to your coach for support with your period? And do you think your coach understands how your period affects you? And one was 6%, one was 13%.
Maybe just making it a talk by having females for them to talk to at every club.
Alongside support systems and education, experts say practical changes like bathrooms at every ground, dark-coloured uniforms, accessible bins, and free period products should be priorities, and could be what keeps young women participating in the sports they love.
We start to lose that community of practice almost. We lose that ability to build these sort of strong partnerships, strong groups that can learn to win, learn to lose together, build that resilience and grit. And it's just so important that we look at why these declines are there.
It's so good for bone health, their overall fitness, and I'm like, I want to keep doing it. The longer you can live, the better. If you continue sport, then you're going to be healthier. So basically, this summed it all up perfectly.